Hi everybody, today we will do a blanket with the ADDI King. First I will search for my black needle. I will start there with the yarn, waste yarn, one in the front, one in the back. I'm doing the cast on right now. Very important to go slow to make sure you catch every needle. When you finish the first row, you open your yarn feeder and close it, and then you just have to crank. For waste yarn, at least try to make 5 rows. I did 5 rows, put my waste yarn in the middle, open the yarn feeder, put my waste yarn in the middle, had my working yarn, my project yarn, close the yarn feeder, put my counter to 0, and I'm ready to go. So very important to watch if you don't lose any stitch during your crank. And when you crank and your project touch the table, it's time to turn it. Turn your work, because if you keep it like this, it's gonna do a tension on your stitches and you're in a big chance to losing some. So I keep my hand like this during the tube cranking, like that. Just a little bit of tension, not too much. I will do that till I get 270 rows, because that's the number of rows I did for that blanket. If you want a taller one, you could go 270 to 300 for a better wide blanket. Cut the yarn, put your yarn in the middle, come back with waste yarn, open the yarn feeder, put it very same place of the project yarn, and then you will crank it. You will crank it for 5 rows, and we will cast off with the waste yarn. So I will cut the waste yarn at 5 rows, and I will continue to crank. You will not see properly because I was in front of the light with my head. Sorry for that. See, almost 5 rows. I cut my yarn, and I will just keep cranking, and the yarn will go in it, and it will automatically remove by itself. You see, you can't see it because my head was in front of light. Sorry. So it removed itself from it. Go slowly, make sure you don't rip any stitches, and then you will stretch your tube. You will have to make 4 tubes like this to do the blanket. Stretch, and those are the stitches that I have to pick for my closing. Put your tail on one side and you will start the other side when you put your work flat like this together. Hook is a number 4. I start in the middle, I grab one side and go on the other side, or I could say I go up, grab it, and then I go down, grab one. This is the way I like to close my tube. If you have another way, use it. It will be okay too. It's your project. So we'll keep like this. And this video, you really need to listen all the video before you start your blanket, okay? Because if you just watch here and there, and at the end you try to do the blanket, and then you come on the group and say, oh my god, I missed something, I don't know how to, but just the video is only 25 minutes. It was over an hour and a half. I cut a lot to keep the best information available and not too long. So watch the video to make sure that you get it all. So I'm almost at the end. It's very important to grab all the stitches, because if you don't, you're gonna have some drop stitch and you don't want it. Okay, grab the other side. this one. There. And you only close one side of each of your tube. So you just close one side of your every four of your tube. Oh my god, I'm not sure I have say it right, but you got 4 tube for this blanket, and you only close one side for now. Okay, very important, just one side of it. Remove the waste yarn. I don't have the right one. No, not this one. Sometimes it's not easy to find the right place. I got it. Just to pull and remove it. Pull, pull, pull. There. You see better like this. There. All gone. Well, I roll it in a little ball by hand for another project later. I keep all the yarn for my waste yarn. Turn. Usually you don't see that, but some people ask me to do a ball, so I show you how to do a ball of yarn. There. And now you check if you don't lose any stitches. That was from another tube, because I have 4 tubes to work with, so I didn't lose any stitches. Now time to get your tube together. So you start by both tube have to be start the same side they were closing on it. Okay, only where you close already. So I grab 2 stitch, I go and grab 2 stitch on the other side. I go in the middle of the V. Maybe I could call it bar. I grab 2 bar, or not stitch. I'm not sure. Anyway, you can see it, you understand. I know my English is not that good, but at least I try. Hope you understand. So I will go and grab all the way 2 stitch from one side, close, 2 stitch on the other side, and slip in it. There. It's a little bit long to do, but if you have the patience and to stay on the same column, it's very important. If you start to go not straight, it's gonna be all twisted and it's not gonna be cute. So take your time, you're not in a rush. Think about the time you save by doing it with your machine, so you're good. I was working like for a week on this project between my kids and my work, cooking and cleaning and everything. So this is how I'll do it till the end. Okay, I'm about halfway now. I'm just gonna close it before I forgot. Not close, but attach those 2 tails together, and I will hide it between the 2 layers. I'm not sure if I show it. No, but I will hide it in the 2 layers, between the 2 layers. But come back on the sewing part. If you know how you call this sewing, just let me know. Because me, I do a lot of things, but I don't know how they call it. I don't keep that in mind. Sorry. So grab 2 and the other side. Keep it that way. When you get to the ending part, you keep doing the 2 each side. And 2. I'm holding it with my finger to make sure that you see it, but usually I work like my work is on flat on the table. But because of the video I hold it with my hand. Make sure you see it. Right now I have the camera in front of my face so I try to see what I'm doing. I'm almost doing it blind way. Okay, and you notice those two tubes are not the same length. The same, I'm not sure why, but sometimes happen. Maybe it's the counter, maybe it's me. I forgot it was 270 and I did a little bit more, but it's okay, don't worry, I'm gonna show you how to fix that. First you got this thing now, the plastic to keep your secure your stitch, your live stitch. I will put it there, remove my hook, so no stress for that. So usually you don't do this part when you finish sewing your 4 tubes together, and you all start by the part that is closing on it to go to the unclosing part. Okay, so in this particular part I should have my 4 tubes attached together, okay, before I do that, but because of the video I did it at 2 to save some time and make it sure that you understand it. So I'm gonna do the closing for this one too a little bit faster because you already seen it on the beginning of the video. Closing is always the same thing with me. I always do that technique. I have a video showing different technique to close. If you want to go on my channel and check it, I think I got 5 different ways, I'm not sure, how to close a tube. I will do a new one soon. Don't miss it. And don't forget to subscribe. A lot of viewers, but not that much of subscribers. I'm not sure if it's because a lot of our members doesn't know how to do a YouTube account. If it's that, it's okay. Don't worry. But if you have an account, don't forget to subscribe, please. Okay, I'm almost there. And I will show you guys how to reduce the length of the tube with the lifeline. It's very easy and save a lot of trouble and frustration. So that's why I said watch all the video first before you start. Because if you use like scrap yarn, and they're probably a different of with the length at the end, because it's not the same thickness sometimes each yarn. So with the loom hook I will go grab my stitches. Sometimes it get very tight at the end of the rows, so I pick my loom hook, and with the tail of my yarn I will close my rows. So that's it. Remove your waste yarn now. Find the right place to pull. Sometimes it's not easy, like this one, no? It's a different of the starting part and the ending part of our tube. When you start, it's easy to remove, and when you stop, it's not always easy to remove, or the opposite, I don't remember. But I continue. Remove all the waste yarn, very important. The waste yarn is only there to guide you and to keep your work to look more professional at the end. You could do without the waste yarn, but it's a little bit harder if you closing your tube on night. You can't see the stitches correctly. Like me, I'm always working on night because the kids are in bed and sleep, and nobody's home. Everybody's sleeping. Not nobody's home, but I don't have any visitors when I do the video. It's only on night, so I keep this in mind that I have to grab this stitch at the end. Okay, I will install now my lifeline. Use another kind of yarn, a thinner one, And a very important thing, to be a different color, very contrasting. In this case I use the white because on the video white look very good color to use, easy to follow. To do that I do need to use my yarn needle, and don't worry, I will take my time, closer, and you go with the tip of your needle, you just grab half of every stitch and you stay on the same rows. Very important. If you don't stay on the same rows, it's not gonna work and you're gonna be upset about me. So stay on the same row. My dog need to go out. That's the only one I was not thinking about. Oh, it's okay. Husband, go. Put him out. Thank you, husband. So keep going. Stay on the same rows. With your different color yarn, you continue to pick every half stitch. And remember, you only reduce your tube when you finish sewing 4 tubes together, okay? Because if you don't, you're gonna end up with different size of tube and it's not gonna work, okay? And you always go with the smallest tube. You reduce all your tube equal to the smallest one, okay? So keep going, and when I get to the other end of my white yarn, I will attach it with a little bow. Easy to remove later. Almost there. I really love that blanket. It's keep me warm on my chair, watch my movies all night. I'll already start looking some Christmas video, and we're only in September. That's my blanket to watch the TV all night. So I continue like that and find the tail to remove my waist yarn. When I get it, I just have to remove the first row of the waist yarn. That's the one who holds everything. Like this. And then I would just have to pull on it and do a little ball of yarn. Again, second ball of yarn during this video. Roll it around your finger and you turn it. I did it very fast because it's the second time. Okay. Like this. And you have to my yarn has divide and it's stuck together. Sorry for that. I just have to remove it carefully. I don't want to lose anything. Okay, that's my yellow yarn. My lifeline is fine. Okay, everything is out of the way now. I will be able to pull on the yarn. When I finish pulling on it, it will be time to close. Cut my yarn and we'll join it together. Forgot about those little piece of yarn. So one tail is in one side, I go the opposite to close it. And when you have your 4 tube, you start closing it with the smallest tube of your blanket. From it, you start with the smallest part, because if you start another way, you end up with not equal. So I grab each stitch one by one. Very important. For those blankets, if you want to crochet around it, it's very great. But me, it was only for me, so I decided to just put some fringe. Little there. Oops. Yeah. Almost at the end. To remove the lifeline, it's very easy. You just have to pull slowly on it on the white yarn. There, almost there. Take my tail and close this tube. Now I will remove with the tip of my loom hook, remove all the lifeline. I have a loom hook closer to me all the time. It's easier. So time to remove my plastic. Make sure I don't lose any stitches. I will remove it and put my crochet back and attach it to the other two so they join together. Cut the yarn and close it with that tail, and I will attach it with the other tail that is like just there, so it's solid, it's secure, and you hide it inside your 2-layer of tube. It's very easy. The yarn needle I use is if you go on a large store, you could find it. It's called a wool needle, and it's pack of 3. You got the small, medium, and large. I always use the medium one, the one you see. It's very easy to use with yarn. Take every thickness. Okay. So I have attached all my 4 tubes, close both sides of my 4 tubes. Now I do the franges. I'm sure I don't pronounce it right, but in French it's frange. So I think you understand. So I decided to do it 28 centimeter long, and I have some blue and purple and some yellow. I'm gonna mix them together. I think it took me like 6 balls to do this project. I think, yeah. And I had a little bit left, so I decided to finishing with this. I'm very happy that you're following me with this video. I'm gonna leave like 5 stitches between each one, or at least an inch. But if you want to put it closer, it's your work. You decide what you want. Me, I'm just doing a suggestion. I do what I like. So when you do it at home, you do the way you like it. So almost finished. 3, 4, 5, and put my 3rd one. It's gonna be like 5 or 6 per tube for the 4 tube wide. So hope you enjoyed this video. don't forget to subscribe. And don't miss my other video. I'm working a lot lately and I'm doing a lot of editing in the same time, so you will see more videos soon. I wish you a good day. So ciao ciao, bye bye.